Okay all, today isn't really exactly an uncrafting video. I'll explain that near the end of the video, but let's just say today we tackle on the Nokhud Offensive, I think that's how you pronounce it, in the Dragonflight expansion in World of Warcraft, and we're going to try and break out of bounds. Now, this one was a little different than most instances because it allows dragon riding in it, which is quite different than every other instance I've ever been in, because dragon riding is, much faster than regular mouse. Stick around and stay tuned to see if I actually was able to break out of bounds. And join me in exploring a very strange cave that I found near the end of the video. The first thing I do is I want to scout out the zone to see if the whole zone is here. And I do find out that the whole zone it does look like it is here. So that's good to know. And I stopped this video for whatever reason. I think I was just scouting, so I just stopped the video, stopped recording. And then in the next video, I decided to test the limits of what happens if you try to fly out of bounds here. In order to do that, I just started flying straight into the out of bounds area. I used Fell Rush and the game froze. I don't really understand why it froze, but it certainly did, and that's a problem. So I thought maybe that I could get far enough outside to where it won't be able to pick me up. Like the bird, I think it's some bird, I don't remember the name. We'll see it in just a minute. But, so tip number one is a complete failure. I wasn't sure when I logged in where it'd be exactly, but I end up just at the beginning of the entrance, which I was really hoping that maybe I would be on the ground in the starting area. I can never remember what it's called. I cannot remember what it's called. You guys saw my last Dragonflight video. I cannot remember at all what it's called. I can never do it. But anyway, so I thought maybe I could either be in that place or be at the entrance of the Onran Plains. You guys have got to forgive me. I'm not used to these names yet. I've only got a level 67, so I've got a long way to go. I'm actually questing in Onran Plains right now. I think I'm almost done questing here, but I've still got a few more quests to do. Onran Plains, yes, that's it. Anyway, so I'm back at the entrance of the instance, and so that's not good. It didn't work. This is tip number 2. I decided on this one, I'm just going to fly as fast and as far as possible into a different zone to see what would happen. So I take off at full speed and I just want to see what happens. So here's where I start thinking about, I'm getting close. Okay, I'm fleeing the Nokhud Offensive. I've got to hurry. I go as fast as I can. I don't have all of my dragon riding traits, but and then I get caught by Great Ahuna. So not great. So the Great Ahuna takes me back to the beginning of the entrance. That's attempt number 2 down the drain. Let's do attempt number 3. Okay, so in attempt number 3, I decided to try, and I guess I tried to, I thought maybe I could go out into the ocean and see if maybe there was some kind of barrier out there that I could pass and get away from the Great Ahuna, or I can't remember the name of the bird already. Whatever the bird's name is. I thought maybe I could, hit the ocean and try to get out of there. So I get on this cliff here, and then I just go for it. Let's see what happens. I fly. I get a lot of speed here, a lot of speed. I don't have all my orbs, whatever you call them. I don't know what to call them. I don't have all those, unfortunately. And so I get here, I jump in the water, and the game freaks out, okay? Jumping in the water, if you don't know, in out of bounds area is typically a bad idea. So it's interesting it does consider that out of bounds. However, I was still kind of shocked to see that my game froze. I really thought maybe it wouldn't freeze. So it logged me out, and I try to log back in. And this is attempt number 4. Let's see what happens in attempt number 4. I'm pretty sure in attempt number 4, I really just try to scout out the area. I don't really, I kind of look around, see if there's a good plan I can think of. At this point, I don't have any thoughts. I'm just still trying stuff. So right here, you can see me kind of scouting out the edges of the zone to see if there's maybe a place that looks kind of sketchy or whatever. Just something I can maybe use to my advantage. I don't really see anything. Doesn't really seem like there's too much here. Okay, and so I ran out of flight juice here, and so I just kind of walk around a little bit more. And I get to the very edge. It looks really beautiful, and I just go for it. I just see, let's try it again. Let's fly as fast as we possibly can towards the ocean, and let's see what happens. So I get through these aisles over here. So far, so good. It's not it's not yet kicking me out. I wasn't sure where I was on the map yet. I didn't know if I was in the next zone or not yet. And I was also just kind of exploring this little area because I hadn't seen it before, so I thought it was interesting. There it is. There's the barrier right there. Okay, so I thought I had hit it earlier, but I had not. Okay, so I'm right at the ocean now. And I'm pretty sure I just wait for my orbs to come back. I don't know what to call those. What do you guys call those? I don't remember. So I wait for all those to come back. One thing I did notice on the minimap here is that it's actually kind of, there's some weird texture going on in there. And so I just kind of swam a little bit to maybe get a good view and immediately logged out. Immediately logged out in the water. And I'm still technically in the unaround plains. I don't know what all that's about. That should certainly not be happening. So I logged back in, and I'm really hoping I'm not back at the entrance of the instance. Really hoping that. And stupidly I am. I'm like, come on. If I wouldn't have glitched out, if I wouldn't have been logged out, I would have certainly been able to just get right back. So that was really dumb. I think that was attempt number 4, out of the water. Completely out of the water. Yeah, well, technically it was in the water, but you know what I mean. Okay, so attempt number 5. Let's see. I think my thought here was I just wanted to try to get us a little bit of speed. See, my dragon riding is not at full flight, of course. Haha, get it. So I'm kind of poor on my dragon riding skills. I've only got 4 orbs, whatever you call them. So I try to use these gusts to kind of build up a bunch of speed to get some height for sure. And then I go for the ocean. I had it dead set on the ocean. So I just build up a bunch of speed. I get quite a bit of speed here. And I just go for it and see what happens. So I'm flying at pretty close to my full speed, and I go for it, and I go for it. And I saw those islands, in the kind of to the left there, and I kind of tried to go for them, but not really that much. I finally hit the fatigue bar, and unfortunately, it says I'm wandering away from the Nokhud Offensive, and that's really sad because I was hoping that maybe I could get just far enough away, but the great Ohuna has to interrupt my fun again. I tried to use any spell I had just to try to get out of her grips. Nothing seemed to work. Okay, so that's attempt number 4. Didn't really get very far on that one. Or was that attempt number 5? I think it was attempt number 5. Attempt number 5 didn't get very far. At this point, I was kind of beginning to think like there's really not an easy solution to this. So I just kind of do a little bit more scouting, and I build up a lot of speed with these air drafts. I try to get pretty darn high as possible. Okay, so it looks like I'm not scouting here. It looks like I'm trying the ocean thing again. I felt like I was kind of gypped last time. So I'm pretty darn high up, so I can get a lot of speed here. I can get a lot of flight, and I mean I'm making good. I've got some good speed. So I'm just trying to build up more and more and more. There we go, max speed there. And I actually fly for quite a while, which is kind of shocking. Now see, those islands there, I actually kind of decided I wanted to try to shoot for those. I had no idea if that would actually happen. But I certainly wanted to at least try. Now the sky does turn a different color here, and I do hit the fatigue area. So I'm actually pretty darn far into the ocean. Once again though, you're fleeing the Nokhud Offensive. Please turn back. Darn. What potion? Oh, I used like a water. I just tried a bunch of different stuff. None of it worked. Okay. So that attempt didn't work either. Attempt 5 or 6, whichever one it was. Didn't work very well. Kind of upset about it, but sometimes you could spend hours and hours and hours trying to get out of bounds in an area and it never works out. So at this point, I decided I needed a recourse. I didn't want to just keep hitting the wall over and over. So I decided that I'm going to try something a little different. I decided to go to the Azure Span. I think that's the name of that place. Now, I have never set foot in the Azure Span. Let that be known. I don't know anything about the Azure Span. I've never had any quests there. I have not been in there whatsoever. And so I just had my way over there, not sure what to expect. Okay, so I'm getting pretty close to the border right here. I had to land because I was running out of juice, and I wasn't sure exactly where the barrier was, so I wanted to make sure I didn't pass it without really paying attention. Yeah, I mean, first off, this land looks like it's going to be gorgeous, and I cannot wait to take a quest there. But second of all, it's like you can go really far in here without changing zones, which I was kind of shocked about. There it is. There's the zone change. So I turned back as I did that as a little bit of a scouting mission. So now I've got to make a course of action here. What do I do? How do I get out of bounds if I want to maybe try it this way? So now I decided I'm going to try metamorphosis. And it actually turns out that there's no path available. So it's 100% counted as out of bounds area if you go past the zone. Okay, so I try a little bit to use Metamorphosis, to try to get out of bounds, like I have in so many different areas. And I'm actually unsuccessful. I tried this for quite a while, and I'm not successful in any way. I try to use Metamorphosis on this tree because a lot of times, different objects will allow you to use Metamorphosis on them. So I try to do Metamorphosis. I try to use Metamorphosis on the tree. No luck there. I do get it here, and I'm like, yes, I'm out. Turns out I'm not actually out of the Nokhud Offensive, so that's really quite disappointing. But I mean, that would have been way too easy, right? These explorations can't be too easy, right? I actually wait about 2 minutes for my Metamorphosis to come back up, and yeah, that's kind of sucks, but at least it's only 2 minutes instead of 5 minutes now. I have my talents specifically tuned for exploration, so that should help out a lot with these explorations. It'll cut down, let's say I have to use Metamorphosis 10 times. Well, before that would have been 50 minutes, and now that's only 20 minutes. So that's significant. I mean, that is significant. My little guy popped up there, kind of freaked me out. Okay, so I have Metamorphosis back, and I just click around all over the place. I try, and I don't really get any good luck here. Doesn't look like I'm gonna be able to Metamorphosis too easily outside of bounds, which would be great. I get another Metamorphosis here, but it's literally right on the cusp of the border, which is really quite disappointing. So that wasn't going to work. But we're not out of the woods yet. We're actually just getting into it. I see this cave over here, and it's really close to the edge of the map. And I'm like, maybe I could step foot. Maybe the other side goes into the Azure span. Okay, guys, quick note here. If you are photosensitive or anything like that, I would recommend definitely skipping this part. There's no flashing colors, but there is a lot of flashing textures, very rapidly flashing textures. Weirdly enough, it does go into the Azure span. It doesn't count as leaving the zone. Now, I should have had a warning, guys. This is really glitchy. This is one of the most glitched areas I've ever seen in my entire YouTube career. Well, career loosely. But it's freaking out. If you're prone to seizures, or if if this makes you sick, I would just skip this part. Please, look at this. I'm technically in the Azure span, but I'm not. And so the game doesn't know what to do. It doesn't load this in properly. It just keeps phasing in and out over and over and over and over very quickly. So it's kind of trippy. And yeah, that's really, really interesting. I was shocked I found something like this. And I'm not getting kicked out either. So I was really, really, really shocked that I found something like this. And I was very excited. This gave me a lot of hope. Yeah, it gave me a lot of hope to see what else lies in store. So I've never set foot in this cave ever. And so this is my very first experience with it. I don't know if there's quests in here. I don't know. But I thought maybe it comes out on the Azure span. Maybe I have cheated the system. Unfortunately, when you come back out, you're still technically in the on-Aran plains. Now, I don't know what's going on with this cavern, but it's possible that maybe it has the wrong name, because it says the Azure span Kargpaw's Den, but both sides of it are in the on-Aran plains, so I don't know if it's mapped incorrectly here. I don't know. If you can tell me, guys, in the comment if this is part of the Azure span or the on-Aran plains in the normal area, let me know. Just let me know, and that would be very interesting, because this, guys, though this was unsuccessful so far, I'm technically still not out of bounds. This has given me many ideas of how to get out of bounds. And I'm going to need your guys' help for this one. Now, I haven't done this in a long time, since the Wailing Caverns back, I don't know, over a year ago, by far over a year ago. But I want some help, and if somebody could let me know, is there a cave close enough to the edge of the map that you could go into and glitch past the barrier without being sent to the entrance of the instance? If that is possible, if somebody else has done this, please let me know. I need help on this. I don't ask for help very often on these explorations, but this one kind of subbed me, and I want to go through all of the Dragonflight dungeons just as we go through every other dungeon in World of Warcraft. I really, really want to. So please help me out on that, guys. Okay. So if you skipped ahead, if you don't want to have seizure-inducing freaking out of the game, then you're here, right? So again, don't go in there if you don't like textures that are freaking out. Here's something interesting else that I see. I got really nervous because I'm like, okay, am I going to glitch out of bounds if I hit the water? And the answer is absolutely 100% yes, of course it is, duh. So I glitch out the game and I have to log back in, which is unfortunate but expected, honestly. Okay, so it took me a long time to log back in, but thankfully I didn't get stuck in a loop. That would have been very unfortunate because the only way to solve that is either to unstuck your character or wait like 20 minutes until the dungeon resets. Okay, so I look here and I'm on the very edge of the map, of the border. But look, for whatever reason on the Nokhud Offensive side, the water is not there. It's so strange. You would think it wouldn't be there on the out of bounds side. But no, it's on our side. It's on the side that should have the water texture there. So I thought that was very strange, and you could see like kelp on the floor here and stuff. It's really weird. I'm not sure why. Maybe this was just a glitch on the developer's part. Maybe they didn't expect people to go over here. I doubt they did. But maybe they cut the wrong half of the water out of the instance. Very bizarre, and I'm not even sure what to think about that. It's not like a super big deal. But it's always interesting when things like this happen, because it's like, the water should be here. There's no this is inbounds. This is a place you can go to. You're allowed to go to it. There's nothing stopping you from going to it. And yet, what the heck? So I decided to skirt around these mountains here, see if I can see more of this, and you can see there's another waterbed here. There's no water in it. What is going on? This is so bizarre. In a second here, I'll turn around, and there's a waterfall with no water coming out of, or going into it. How freaking weird. So there's just a waterfall here, but there's no water. This is inbounds again. And so I fly down here, and there is water here, and there's water here. And you know what? I just go for it. I'm already at a point where I just go for it. Maybe there's a cave. Maybe there's a cave. Maybe I'll find a place. Maybe I can hide under this bridge, and I'm caught. Darn. But anyway, that is my last attempt getting out of this instance. And I didn't escape and explore the out of bounds area and on around plains or in the Nokhud Offensive. Very disappointing. It's the first time I haven't been able to get out of bounds in a long time. But again, I need your help with this one, guys. And also, if you guys know of any caves around the outskirts, let me know. And I might try to get into one of those and get out of bounds that way. I don't know if it'll work, but it's a theory that I have. I might work on this later. I should work on this later, but I'm trying to get you guys a video a week, so it's a lot of work. But I will see you guys in the next one. Thank you guys for watching this episode of Uncrafting World of Warcraft. Well, I'm sad that we weren't able to break out of bounds fully, but again, if you guys have any extra information on this, or if you have done this exploration before and you know how to do it, let me know. I'd really appreciate it. And if you like the video, leave a thumbs up. And if you would like the video enough that you would like to see more, then be sure to subscribe, and you can, there's many more instances in other places in World of Warcraft that we've never escaped. So we've got a long way to go before our journey ends. Let's continue on and see you guys next time in Uncrafting World of Warcraft.